नमस्कार। The UPA years May 2004 to May 2009, May 2009 to May 2004, the Congress joined up with minor parties to form the United Progressive Alliance (UPA), which managed more numbers than the NDA. President Abdul Kalam called the UPA to form the government. The UPA, with external support from the BSP, Samajwadi Party, Kerala Congress, and the left parties, managed a comfortable majority. It was expected that Sonia Gandhi, as party president, would be the natural choice for the prime minister's post. She declined the office despite dramatic entreaties by her party members and the allies, saying setting that she was sorry stating that she was following her inner voice. She nominated Manmohan Singh to become Prime Minister. She probably understood that her foreign origin would be exploited by the opposition to create trouble for the government. She, however, remained President of the Congress Party and the chairperson of the UPA. Manmohan Singh, former Finance Minister who had initiated the economic reforms when in Narasimha Rao's government, was sworn in as Prime Minister of India on May 22, 2004. He was a member of the Rajya Sabha. The reformist tendency of Manmohan Singh in the field of economy was probably curbed by Sonia Gandhi. A National Advisory Council had been formed, with which Sonia Gandhi chaired. This council had social activists as its members with a welfare agenda. The ideas for social welfare that came from the council needed to be adopted by the government. The National Rural Employment Guarantee Act (NREGA), to which the name of Mahatma Gandhi was added later, was the largest welfare scheme of its kind in the world. Started in 2006. In 2005, the government's Health Ministry started the National Rural Health Mission. Under the provisions of the Right to Information Act of 2005, any citizen of India may request information from a public authority, which is required to reply expeditiously or within 30 days. The Act also requires every public authority to computerize their records for wide dissemination of certain categories of information, so that citizens do not have to formally request for information. In 2005, Manmohan Singh's government introduced the VAT to replace the complicated cess tax. The Manmohan Singh government made efforts for stronger ties with the United States. The Prime Minister visited the US in July 2005 to begin initiating negotiations over the Indo-US civilian nuclear agreement. When in 2006 President George W. Bush visited India, the declaration over the nuclear agreement was made. This gave India access to American nuclear fuel and technology, though in return India would have to allow its civil nuclear reactor to be inspected by the IAEA. It was only in 2008, only in October, it was only in October 2008 that India and the US finally signed the agreement after further negotiations and approval from the IAEA nuclear suppliers group and the US Congressman. Manmohan Singh was adamant over the Indo-US nuclear deal, saying he would not backtrack from an international commitment, even if led to the fall of his government. In July 2008, the UP government faced a confidence vote over the issue, and the left parties withdrew support to the government. The government managed to win the trust vote. Manmohan Singh tried to ease relations between India and the People's Republic of China. In 2006, Chinese President Hu Jintao visited India. In 2008, the Indian Prime Minister visited Beijing. In the process, the Nathula Pass was reopened in 2006 after having closed for more than 4 decades. India faced several terror attacks in 2007. In 2007 to 2008, the bombing of Samjhauta Express bomb blast in Hyderabad, Jaipur, and Delhi claimed several lives and injured many more. The worst incident was the attack on November 26, 2008, perpetrated by Pakistani terrorists when a group of these young men went through Mumbai and created havoc. They entered the prestigious Taj Hotel and held the guests hostage before killing many. They attacked the busy Shivaji rail terminus again, causing the death of innocent people. India's security weakness was exposed as these terrorists had apparently reached the coast of India in a small boat and entered the country unnoticed. In the end, 9 of the terrorists were killed and 1 captured. The captives' confession confirmed that Pakistan, and more particularly the Lashkar-e-Toiba had no masterminded the attack. General elections to the 15th Lok Sabha were held in April-May 2009. The UPA was once again in a position to form the government. Manmohan Singh was sworn in as the Prime Minister on May 22. As per norms, he had submitted his resignation on May 18 to President Pratibha Patil. Manmohan Singh thus became the first Prime Minister since Jawaharlal Nehru in 1962 to be elected after completing a full term. The second term was marked by the agitation for a separate state for Telangana. The central government publicly promised to initiate the process for forming the state. Andhra Pradesh was formally divided to form the new state of Telangana. While the two states were to share Hyderabad as capital for 10 years, the center was to provide funds to Andhra Pradesh to build a new capital. The law was amended to provide stringent punishment for sexual offences against women and children. The government also initiated and steered the enactment of the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012. The Bhuvan Reservation Bill, as passed by the Rajya Sabha. UPA second was instrumental in getting the Lokpal and Lok Ayukt Act in place in 2013. The act is directed towards providing for the establishment of Lokpal at the union level and the Lok Ayukt in different states to inquire into allegations of corruption against certain public functionaries and for related matters. In 2013, the government pushed through the National Food Security Act and the Right to Food Act. This was aimed at providing subsidized subsidized, subsidized, subsidized food grains to the beneficiaries of the targeted public distribution system. Though it was pointed out that this kind of distribution may not reach the targeted population due to the corrupt and inefficient functioning of the public distribution system, the NLC did not favor the idea of cash transfers less food coupons. As one critic has observed, the contribution of the NAC to the agenda of inclusive growth was to ensure that inclusiveness was to be through patronage and protection rather than promotion of livelihood and employment opportunities for the poor. Clearly, the government faced many difficulties is reconciling its own priorities with those of the NAC. In its second term, the UPA faced several allegations of corruption, especially against members of its coalition allies. The measures that it took in line with the progressive policy were clearly overshadowed by a series of controversies surrounding the government, such as the 2G scam, the coal block allocation scam, and the Commonwealth Games scam. The reports of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India damaged the image of the government. There was also dissatisfaction over a over a more general level. Common people were hit by price rise and unemployment, not to say lack of development. With the fiscal deficit and a sharp downslide of the rupee led to instability in the economy, it did not seem as if the UPA was coming back to power in 2004. Dhanyavad. Thank you so much.